on his okay, let's wait, like shocking when had been said. Jensen got no to try to why shot should we do Jensen should we wife will down the sun little London he had read Mark turned to the door. Nope, that's not right. Hello guys and welcome back to another video. If you're new, hi, I'm Ra and I love to read and talk about books, and this is where I do that. So for this video I am going to be reading some F1 fanfiction from ao3 again. And before I do, I know I have a hat and I'm inside. The thing is, my hair looks horrible. Like, you don't know how bad it looks and I have to get it cut. I don't want you to see my hair today because it's not good. So I'm, wearing this very nice hat that has Fernando Alonso's sign in it because I bought it on his museum. That's why it has his sign. The thing is, I'm, with my Fernando Alonso hat because I'm going to be reading F1 fanfictions from ao3. If you don't remember, I did one of those videos before and I had so much fun. I wanted to do more. And the thing is, my friend, the one who sent me the fanfictions for the first part, sent me a few others that I didn't get to read on that first part. So this is the second part of me reading F1 fanfictions. I'm probably going to be doing some other, reading fictions from different places some other time. But today we have Formula 1 fanfictions. I am so excited that I just want to get to it. So I hope you're excited to see this video. If you are, like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, and now let's get on with reading Formula 1 fanfictions from ao3. Okay, so my friend sent me so many. I don't know which one to, read. I think I'm just gonna start with the message after the last fanfiction that I read on the first part, because they sent me the fanfictions one after the other, so I'm just gonna get the first message. And apparently this one has two parts, and it is Webonso. We all know it's gonna be Webonso because I love Webonso, my friend loves Webonso, we all love Webonso. So apparently there's two parts, and apparently Fernando is a Formula 1 driver, but Mark is not a Formula 1 driver, that's for sure. I don't know what this word is. I will put it around the screen, the word I'm looking for. But the thing is, it has two parts. So let's begin with the first part and read. I am so excited. I really have to do more videos like this because I love reading Formula 1 fanfictions, and the ones from ao3, they're always great. Oh my god, I have to log in. Okay, wait. Let me try and figure out. I don't remember my... Okay. Give me a minute. I have to actually figure out this because I completely forgot my username. Okay, I remember my username now. I have to redo my password. These are things from the live. I'm not doing a live or anything, but these are the kind of things that normally go wrong when you try to do something on the first try and never ends up doing as well as you wanted to. So yeah, welcome to this little process of me trying to figure out how to get into my ao3 account. I have to think of a password. This is taking so long. Okay, I think I've figured it out. Give me a minute. I'm gonna go back into the first one. Okay, I can't. Great. Let's try a different one and I'll figure out what to do with this one. Okay, apparently this is what she said. My friend said that this one is basically random chapters, it is not a whole actual story, just random chapters of different drivers adopting kids. And apparently Fernando and Jensen adopt Stoffel, which I am very excited to read. So let's just read this. This is called Becoming a Family, F1 Adoption Fics. Okay, summary. Fernando and Jensen bring home their second son, Stoffel, who has become fast friends with their other son, Carlos. Kimi and Sebastian foster two boys, Daniel and Max, after hearing stories from Nando and Jensen how they might get separated. No, that's not happening. No, I want Boutons to be together. Please no. Sergio fosters a troubled young boy called Esteban. In my head, that makes so much sense. Like Sergio and Esteban together. Yes. John, Eric, and Daniel run into two little brothers, Charles and Pierre, who are in dire need of a new home. Kimi and Seb are adopting a little boy called Charles, but when they try to get to know shy little Valtteri, they simply can't leave him behind. Excited for that. Kevin adopts a shy little boy called Valtteri, and with the help of Marcus, they eventually become a perfect little family. Carlos and Nico foster little Max. Carlos feels a little insecure about his abilities to be a father figure, about the little boy steals his heart. Kimi adopts little Lando, but Lando's old caretaker is reluctant to see him go. Val and Max bring George home. Valtteri's family is there to help them. Okay, that is like the different thing. So let's begin with Fernando, Jensen, Carlos, and Stoffel. I am so excited. Okay. Carlos, wake up, sweetie. Fernando cawed gently as he sat on the edge of his son's bed. Carlos mumbled something and turned over, not really waking up yet. You remember what day is it, Carlos? Fernando tried again, chuckling when Carlos sat up with wide eyes and excited smile. Daddy is picking up Stoffel, Carlos exclaimed, almost tumbling out of the bed of his hurry to get up. Fernando grinned and picked his son up, pushing some of his unruly hair out of his face. They had adopted Carlos when he was barely 3 years old, almost 2 years ago. They had struggled in the beginning, especially since Carlos only understood Spanish and Jensen's Spanish wasn't that good yet, but they had managed. Fernando now couldn't imagine their lives anymore without the little boy, and Carlos seemed to be happy, which made everything even better. I love reading about happy families. 1 year ago, they had decided to adopt another boy, and they had gone through a long process of adoption again. At the start, there hadn't been any child that would seem to be happy living with them, but then they found Stoffel. The boy was about the same age as Carlos, but contrary to him, he had spent his whole life in foster families and orphanages. No. Poor Stoffel. Fun fact, I call Stoffel Stufa Van Puerta, and in my head it is the best nickname you can give to Stoffel. Anyway, that had nothing to do with anything. Let's go back. It had taken them quite some time to gain Stoffel's trust. The shy boy had been hesitant at first, but especially after they had brought over Carlos one day, he had started to open up a little bit more to them. Fernando managed to get the hyperactive little boy ready and dressed and waited together for Jensen and Stoffel to arrive home. The moment the car pulled at the house, Carlos was on his feet. Fernando chased him on the front door and with an amused smile. Jensen walked over, Stoffel holding on to his hand while sleepily rubbing at his eyes. Fernando smiled, and his husband, while trying to get Carlos to calm down a little as not as overwhelmed the new addition to their family. Fernando noticed that while Jensen was grinding, there was something troubling him, but he decided to save that for later. Stoffel, Carlos giggled, running forward and hugging the older boy, who seemed tentatively but hugged back. Jensen let go of his hand and leaned closer to quick peck Fernando's lips. Morning, he said with a smile, wrapping an arm around Fernando's waist as they watched the two boys. Carlos had taken Stoffel's hand and was pulling him towards the house, babbling excited about his room. Stoffel, welcome home, Fernando said gently, kneeling down in front of him. Stoffel breathed out circly and then sniffed lightly, walking toward into Fernando's embrace. Fernando hugged him as the tiny boy cried tightly. Carlos looked a little confused to why Stoffel was crying and shoved over to Jensen with a concerned expression. Jensen littled him, settling on his head. Did you do something wrong? Carlos mumbled. Jensen shook his head, pressing his kiss to the side of his son's head. He's just a little overwhelmed. It's okay. Jensen explained. Carlos still seemed unsure Stoffel was alright, but nodded slowly, cuddling closer to his papa. Fernando, meanwhile, carefully lifted Stoffel up, cradling the young boy in his arms and carrying him inside into his new home. There's more, but I feel like that is a very cute ending for like this little section. I am loving it so much. Oh my god. Okay, let's try a different one. Like, so this is Fernando Jensen. We can do, should we do Sergius and Esteban, or do I want to get mad today? Not really. So let's do Kimi and Lando. Like, Kimi adopts little Lando. Okay, I want to do that. And then we can do Valtteri and Max bringing George. Okay, we'll do those two. Okay, let me try and figure out how to get to those. Okay, next chapter. Okay, yes. There's so many. Oh my god. They got new ones. Like, those are like the ones before. Okay, it's fine. There's so many. I don't want to do a video only on this one, but if you want to know more of these like fan fictions, like, again, there's so many little chapters. So if you want to know, and if you want to know more about this specific fan fiction, let me know, because I would love to do a second part of just reading this specific fan fiction. I think it's this one. Yeah, Kimi and Fernando and Lando. Okay. Kimi, little Lando giggled, running towards the fin and holding out his arms. Kimi smiled softly and lifted the little boy, kissing his cheek. Hi, little squirt, he murmured, sighing constantly as Lando cuddled close to him. The little boy laughed softly. Of course you did. We love Lando's laugh. Missed you, he muttered. Missed you too, Kim answered softly. He had sat down on the sofa with the visitation era and let Lando settle on his lap. He had been visiting the boy for a close 3 months now, and Kimi was pretty sure he wanted to adopt the little boy, who already held a special place in his heart. Lando has everyone's heart. Like, it's Lando Norris. Of course he has everyone's heart, you know? So yeah. There was only one problem. A volunteer named Fernando, who had to give him approval before he was allowed to adopt Lando, and who seemed very reluctant to do so. Fernando, I would too, don't worry. I feel you, brother, I feel you. Not me calling Fernando brother. Anyway, Kimi liked Fernando and appreciated the way the Spaniard always was there for the little one, but he could also be a pain in the ass. Completely true. Fernando, you can be perfectly that, I agree. The man in question also came into the room during the visitation and glared a little at Kimi. Hola, he said sharply. Kimi only nodded a little, before focusing on Lando again, who was telling him a very confusing yet really adorable story about a drawing he had made about holding out to Kimi. Kimi laughed a little, pressing Lando for the result, and smiling some more, the little one shyly smiled at him. Drawing is for you, he muttered. Kimi sighed slightly. Is it? Oh, thank you, sweetie. Kimi said, kissing Lando's temple before hugging him close. It's beautiful. Lando, visiting time. It's over, darling. Darling. Fernando suddenly spoke up. Lando pouted a little but cuddled close to Fernando when the Spaniard lifted him off Kimi's lap. Kimi awkwardly stood up. I'll see you soon again, okay, darling? Kimi whispered softly to Lando, who nodded and yawned tiredly, resting his head against Fernando's shoulder. Kimi not only noticed the way Lando was comfortable with the Spanish, but also the Spanish soft smile as he cuddled the little boy close. Can I talk to you? Kimi asked. Fernando pursed his lips. I'm going to put Lando on bed. You can wait in the office, he decided. Kimi nodded, reaching out to card his finger through Lando's hair one last time, but Fernando stepped away before he could. What you want to talk about? Fernando asked as he stopped him in the little office. Kimi was sprawled on one of the seats. He was half asleep when Lando entered. He cleared his throat and sat up. Why am I not surprised Kimi is sleeping? Like, why am I not surprised? I was thinking, he started, while Fernando sat down opposite him with a rather stern look on his face. I want to formally adopt Lando, he blurted out. Fernando paled and shook his head. No, he said hoarsely. Kimi frowned. Fernando, let Kimi have the kid. Come on, you have like 1,000 other kids. You can leave one to Kimi, you know. That would be not selfish at all. You could do that. I believe in you, baby. Not me calling Fernando baby and brother in the same video. Excuse me? He said. Fernando fumbled for words and then cleared his throat. Is it too soon? Minimum of 3-month visitation, he said, voice still a little choked up. Kimi hadn't heard of that rule before, and by the drawn look on Fernando's face, he doubted it was real. He felt a pang of sympathy for Fernando. Okay, there is 1 more week, I think. Kimi answered. Fernando turned even more anxious but nodded. Yes, he abruptly stood up, and someone called for me. See you next time, Fernando mumbled before practicing running out of the room. Fernando did not hold true to the word of a week later. One of the volunteers told Kimi adoption papers were ready for him to sign. Kimi was elated and couldn't wait to tell little Lando the news. Ra, can you please learn how to read? We would all appreciate it. I know. Just give me process time for processing whatever I'm reading, okay? Yes. When he arrived at Lando's little bedroom, he was surprised to see Nando sitting on the edge of the bed. Lando fell asleep in his arms. That wasn't very odd in itself, but the Spaniard was crying at the rock of the little boy in his arms, large tears rolling down his cheeks as he took in shaky breaths. Fernando, Kimi asked with a frown. Fernando looked up with a gasp and wanted to wipe the tears off his cheeks. But with Lando still cradled in his arms, he couldn't. Kimi walked towards him and sat down on the edge of the bed next to the Spaniard, feeling a little awkward. He had gotten to know Fernando pretty well these past few months, and besides the man's quirks, he seemed to have gotten rather fond of the Spaniard. Lando struggled a little in Fernando's arms, but calmed again when Fernando rocked him. Nando sniffled a little. We'll miss him, he muttered eventually. Kimi sighed and hesitantly placed a hand on Fernando's back. He was really sure what to say. Fernando just sighed and leaned in Kimi's touch. Don't apologize, Lando will be happy with you, he said, followed by another soft sob. Kimi wrapped his arm around Kim more secretly. Thank you for taking care of him so well, he whispered, pressing a kiss on Fernando's temple. Fernando looked up him, brown eyes wide, and Kimi almost had an urge to kiss him. I was not expecting this. Oh my god! A little sleepy voice broke the moment. Kimi, Lando said with a yawn. Kimi smiled and nodded, letting out a deep breath with Lando climbed into his lap. We'll leave you two alone, Nando muttered, keeping his head down so Lando could see his tears. Kimi sighed and turned to the little boy, pressing a kiss into his forehead. Lando, I want to adopt you. That is so cute. Again, there's a bit more of the fic, but I think that is a very good point to stop because it's just so cute. I am so in love. Okay, let's do the last one. Okay, let's do one more, which is Valtteri, Max, and George. I'm very excited for this one. Come on, charge. Phone, please. Oh wait, I didn't press go. I'm stupid. Okay, it's fine. Let's do this one that is basically Valtteri, Max, and George. Plus Kimi, Sepp, and Charles. This is so long. What about if I don't read this one and I wait until knowing if you want to see a third part of me just reading parts of this specific fanfiction? I feel like that could be a great idea. And I still don't know how to get into the actual, how to get into ao3 with my account, so I cannot read the first two parts that I was very excited. So let's do this other one. Let's hope I can read this one. Okay, yes. This is called Tiny Drivers. Some of the drivers have been turned into toddlers, and other drivers need to babysit them. Cute, extremely cute and tiny toddlers and lots of fluff. There are so many, like 48 of them. Okay, I'm just gonna go through the ones that are there so I can actually just pick the ones I'm excited to read. Fernando Alonso and Tiny Stoffel. I have to read that one. Max and Daniel? I have to read that one. Okay, I already read a one Fernando and Stoffel one, so I'm not gonna read that one, even though I'm very excited and tempted to. I will probably read it, off camera, but I'm gonna read, there's so many Fernando and Jensen. Fernando Weber! Okay, I have to read this one. I don't know who's the tiny baby, but I have to read that one. I'm so excited now. Come on, charge. I need to read this one. Is Webonso with a kid? Webonso and Stoffel. This one is the chapter we're reading for this specific fiction. I'm so excited. Oh my god, okay. Mark greeted some of the engineers on his way to Fernando's driving room, as he did a couple of times per season. He had come to the paddock to surprise the Spaniard, mostly to tease and annoying a shorter man as much as he could in the short period of time he could spend at the tracks. He was about to knock on the door to the driver room when another engineer came up to him. "You're here to see Fernando?" he asked. Mark nodded, noticing the man was speaking in a rather harsh voice. He isn't here, right? Or did I go to a wrong room again? Mark asked with a chuckle. The nerd nodded but looked a little uncomfortable. He is, but Stoffel is there as well, and he's... The engineer trailed off. Mark frowned, not sure where the hell he was going. What do you mean? Mark asked with a frown. The engineer recited. Stuff is, well, different. I'm sure I can manage. Mark, you can do whatever you want. Like, if you can do whatever you want, you can say whatever you want. Like, you can do whatever you want and you put your mind to. Like, Mark, I love you. If you say, I want to do this, and you need help, I'm going to be helping you. I love you, Mark, so much. I love Mark, whoever. Okay, that had nothing to do with anything. Let's continue with this, right? Fernando was sitting on the ground, a small blonde little boy sitting opposite him. Fernando was telling the boy something while the toddler giggled. He seemed familiar, but Mark couldn't exactly place him. Mark, Fernando called out with a smile when he spotted the Aussie. Mark smiled as Fernando stood up, the small boy tumbling up to shyly hide behind the Spaniard's legs. Fernando chuckled when he saw Mark's confusing expression. You've met Stoffel before, no? He asked, ruffling the boy's hair, and the toddler clutched onto his leg. I don't think so. I don't think so because of Stoffel's reaction, but... So, your teammate? Mark only got more confused. Yeah, of course, because of course a kid of like 3 years old can be a driver. Of course, Mark, of course. This happens to more drivers, but he's so cute I don't mind. Fernando explained. Stoffel was still trying to hide, but Fernando leant down to a small smile, lifting him up, settling him on his hip. Stoffel was still watching Mark warily, but seemed more comfortable now that Lando was holding him. Fernando walked over to Mark, bouncing Stoffel's light off his hip until the boy started to giggle. Mark grinned as well. He had never seen Fernando around children before, and it is quite adorable. Yes, he is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Of course it is. Nando beamed up at him, and he gave Mark a slightly awkward one-armed hug, still balancing Stoffel on the other side. Mark hugged back momentarily before turning his attention to Stoffel. He smiled gently and carefully booped the toddler's nose. Grinding into the little Belgian giggled and scrunched up his face a little. Fernando smiled softly at Mark. The smile quickly turned sheepish. All right, Stoff, you stay with Uncle Mark. Yes, I need to do some things, okay? Fernando said with a chuckle. Stoffel looked reluctant, giving a little whimper. Fernando gently brushed him, giving a light kiss on the side of his head before carefully handing him to Mark. Mark heard Stoffel a little uneasily, a little driver staring at him with huge blue eyes. Fernando gave both teasingly stern look. Be good, both of you, okay? So, Fernando, he said, pressing another kiss on the top of Stoff's head. Mark pouted, making Nando roll his eyes and quickly press a kiss to Mark's cheeks as well. Stoffel actually giggled as Mark blushed slightly. Fernando gave him one last smile before leaving the room. Stoffel looked up at Mark expectantly. You have some toys to play with, mate? Mark asked gently. So Stoffel nodded excitedly, pointing to some building blocks in the corner. Mark chuckled and walked them over, putting his stuff down on the ground there. They spent the next hour or so trying to build the highest tower possible, both laughing when collapsed again. Oh my god, this is so long. Mark's phone rang and he walked over to the other side of the room to answer. When he turned back after hanging up, Stoffel had curled up on the floor fast asleep. Mark quietly walked over and lifted him up and put him on the couch. Stoffel immediately crouched on his shirt, mumbling something with a grunted half. Mark moved him. Okay, this is about to finish. Mark quietly started to sing a lullaby as he vaguely remembered, smiling once he realized he was getting most of the words wrong. It could be me. It could be me. It could be me. Stoffel didn't seem to notice, relaxing his slow, starting to fall asleep again as Mark gently rocked him. Mark turned as the door opened, Fernando coming in with a soft grin on his face as he saw Mark still rocking the small boys in his arms. Stoffel's eyes fluttering open when he heard Fernando. I don't know how to read. I am so sorry. Nando, Stoffel mumbled. Hola, Fernando whispered, coming over to carefully push some of the hair out of Stoffel's face. Mark grinned in greeting, continuingly to sing softly. Fernando seemed too surprised, but then joined with what seemed to be the Spanish version of the song, rubbing a hand over Stoffel's back. It didn't take long to Stoffel to fall asleep again after that, cuddling Mark's chest and holding onto Nando's fingers. Come, Fernando said quietly, guiding Mark towards the couch. They also sat down, Fernando having to sit down closer to him since Stoffel was still tightly holding to his hand. You were right, he is adorable. Mark said softly as Fernando tried to get more comfortable by laying his head on Mark's free shoulder. Fernando humbled in agreement. See, very. I love Webonso. If you don't know me and you're trying to get to know me, I love Webonso. I have a love for them that I don't. It's irrational. It's irrational love that I have for Webonso. I love them so much. There's more things, like there's more chapters of this one. So if you as I said on the other on the last fiction, if you want me to read more like chapters, let me know, because there's so many in this one. And I know. Oh, my friend sent me one more, but this video is getting quite long. So I think I'm just gonna read this one off camera because it's very waste. Then I'm not reading it on camera. I'm so sorry, but no. I hope you enjoyed this little video of me reading Formula 1 fan fictions from ao3. As you can tell, I am, so happy. I loved it so much. I love Formula 1. It is something that makes me besides books. Like books and Formula 1. Those are the only two things I love in this life. And I am so happy that I am doing this again, because I loved it the first time and I'm loving it the second time, and I want to do so many more. So let me know if you actually like these, because I will do as many as you want me to. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications so you get notified when I post a brand new video, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye!